Thank you very much, moderator. And I think at this stage we are running short of time. I'll just skip the introductory part of my intervention with regard to the general context of the decolonization. I will narrow it down just on the issue of Western Sahara, which has been since the beginning of this conflict a sort of a bookcase on this constant interference between the position of certain individual powers and the international law and the resolutions of the UN. If I am to go through the major phases of the conflict of Western Sahara on the basis of unilateralism versus multilateralism, I think we can come up with 4 major phases of the conflict in Western Sahara. The first one is where the multilateralism was the dominant approach in dealing with the conflict in Western Sahara, and that was since 1963, the first year where the Western Sahara was seen by the UN as a case of decolonization, as was listed among those territories. That was the first resolution until 1975. So from 1963 until 1975, there was an ongoing multilateralist process to decolonize the territory of Western Sahara, exactly as the way it has been done in other places in the world. This phase culminated by the adoption of the by the issuing of the advisory opinion of the ICJ, International Court of Justice, where the court stated that there were no any sovereign ties between Western Sahara and Morocco prior to the colonization, Spanish colonization of the territory, and asked for the immediate exercise of the right of self-determination. At the same time, also, there was a very important document, and I think Professor Isaias referred to, which is a report of the UN fact-finding mission in 1975. And I think that report is basically the only referendum that has been organized in Western Sahara so far, where that committee in 1975 stated that overwhelming majority of the people of Western Sahara, both on the territory and the neighboring countries, they have expressed their wish to be independent. They have expressed their identification with the Frente Polisario as their sole and legitimate representative, and their also refusal and rejection of any of the Moroccan and Mauritanian claims by them. That's the only referendum so far organized in Western Sahara. The second phase is where the unilateralism became the dominant reality in dealing with the conflict in Western Sahara, especially between 1975 to 1991, where Spain unilaterally decided, unfortunately, in 1975 and 1976 to dishonor its engagement that was done to the UN, that they will organize a referendum of self-determination in the first half of 1975. So, and then they ended up signing this agreement with Morocco, which led to the Moroccan invasion of the territory in 1975. Spain unilaterally decided that, and Morocco unilaterally also continued refusing to abide by the UN resolutions, especially those of the UN Security Council, that they asked in 1975 for the immediate withdrawal of the Green March, of the Moroccan March, to occupy the territory of Western Sahara. This phase ended to the conclusion, ended to the war, of course, of liberation that was carried out by the Frente Polisario, but then to the conclusion between the two parties that by war, none of them is going to impose its will on the other. And that's why we came back to the multilateral efforts and the agreement that was signed under the auspices of the UN in 1991. That led to the third phase to this between 1991 to 2020, where the multilateralism once again became the dominant approach. There was a deployment of a UN mission in the territory in 1991. The signature of the ceasefire between the two parties, the Frente Polisario and the Kingdom of Morocco. And of course, the final objective was to organize a referendum of self-determination that unfortunately is not yet organized because of the Moroccan refusal to allow that referendum of self-determination to take place. And the referendum, of course, was the core heart of the UN process that was agreed upon in 1991. So that was the third